all this is new. Even the people developing it are still figuring it out.
They've got questions. I mean, one of the biggest departments that a lot of these big AI companies have is interpretability, and it's effectively they are looking into the brain of AI and trying to see how it's actually working.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're trying to discover as much as we are, right?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I think we were talking about this the other week, that it's essentially modeled off of the human brain in a way.
Yeah.
Using system
networks.
1 and system 2.
Yeah.
Close alignment with that, which we don't really fully understand how the human brain works.
No.
And I think we're going to learn more probably about that as these models start to develop and grow.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big discussions around this at the moment is, what is the difference, and are we going to see a difference in intelligence? And I think that's probably one of the areas that most businesses need to kind of have a look at the moment is, when we're giving it these goals and when we're doing all of this, it's not a person. So you can't kind of ask it to read between the lines. You need to get very, very specific about what you're asking it to do and what your limitations on it are. If, in the Claudius experiments, it was an experiment. They kind of gave it open-ended.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to go and see. But if you're really going to run that, if you're really going to have that agent in your environment, you would have a lot of rules around what it is allowed to do, what it's not allowed to do. And then, part of the governance point of that is for us to go and make sure that it's sticking to those rules. Because a lot of what these LLMs do is they go outside of their guardrails quite often. So it's about pulling it back and making sure that it's in a good spot. And that's something that I think businesses need to be very conscious of is, what is the guidance that we are giving it? What is the governance that we're placing on top here at the moment as well?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that governance and security part for me. It's always going to be number one. Look, the technology itself is incredible. I can't go and build one and drop it into an environment, but there's enough tools out there that we can.
Technical teams.
It's for us to really go and secure, make sure that companies are implementing it in the right way, in a responsible way.
And I think that's what's missed is I don't think people are expecting this technology to be something that becomes part of a managed service. And I think that's the reality is, whether it's someone internally or externally, you're going to need someone managing this. It's not something you now just going to drop in and it's going to solve all your problems, and you're now no longer going to need staff members. You can, it's just yourself and a bunch of AI agents, multi-agents, perhaps doing stuff. The reality is there's going to need to be a consistent management of it.
100%.
And, for different businesses, depending on your size, depending on what you're doing, there's going to be different levels to that. But I don't think people are foreseeing or thinking this technology is something I'm going to be able to deploy and then just let it run away. They've got to realize that there's a management element to it. 100%.
If at any point you kind of ask yourself the question, do I have 100% visibility on the AI in my environment?
Yeah.
If you've asked yourself that question, even if you're 99% sure that you know everything about AI in your organization, go and talk to somebody. Because if you aren't absolutely sure that you know all about it, one of the biggest challenges in businesses nowadays is shadow AI.
Yeah,
people using AI that you haven't sanctioned, and most of the time people are doing that because they don't have the tools required to be able to do it. So they're having a look at. You don't know what data is going into that. You don't know what it's got access to. Like I said, you can build a tool out of Claude.
Yeah.
With a conversation, you can not just Claude.
I
Gemini.
keep picking on.
I keep on picking on Claude.
No, it's because it's part of the conversation, really.
But yeah, you can build a tool. You can build an agent. You can build all of those things immediately.
The stuff I've just from the marketing world, the applications, the little widgets, the little tools, the landing pages, the amount of stuff that we've now been able to create in it. It's incredible.
And incredible. I think for me,
scary.
Yeah, that's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
You need to know what these tools are doing all of the time. And it's great. You should have the ability in the year 2026 to be able to go and say, I need an application. If I have the skill and the know-how how to interact with AI well enough to go and build the exact tool that I need to have, you should be able to go and do that. But your company also needs to have the ability to go and say, that's fine, build that. tell us what it is, and we'll secure that. And
Yeah.
I think that's where the manageability of all of this comes in. Is that becomes a very big job.
Yeah.
You need to have a security stack that's looking at that. You need to have a governance stack that's having a look at that.
Yeah.
You need to have identity and access permissions. You've got to have.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. And I mean,
It's a little more complicated than I think people are
big
first
time, big
expecting.
time.
So-
Yeah. And
which is great news for I think for anyone that's going, "Ugh, is this going to take my job?" But look, there's just a lot more to it. It's a complicated
absolutely.
thing.
And I think that if there are any questions like that people are asking themselves, give us a call.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're here for. That's what
yeah, exactly.
the service we offer.